Cats are notoriously picky about everything: food, toys, their owners, litter boxes, and even their water bowls. You may have noticed your cat sticking its tongue out to catch water dripping from a loose faucet, or maybe even drinking out of the toilet bowl, but it simply refuses to go anywhere near its water bowl. Here's why. Your cat may not want to drink from its water bowl because of how still the water in it looks. Not only do cats have poor depth perception, which makes it difficult for them to see where the water in the water bowl actually starts, they are also instinctively wary of still water. This instinct is a remnant of their ancestral DNA, wherein cats in the wild typically associate still water with stagnant water, which isn't always safe to drink. Instead, you'd have noticed that cats are more drawn to moving water because their instincts tell them that it's fresh and clean. Besides, cats enjoy the taste of moving water better because there's more oxygen in it. Again, instincts passed on from their ancestors make the domestic cats of today careful about ensuring that their food is far, far away from their water sources. Most cats also don't like it when their food and water are placed so closely together that their scents get mixed up. Being the picky creatures that they are, our four-legged friends prefer their water to not smell like food. We doubt that you'd want to drink from a cup of water that has been left on the floor for days collecting dust and bacteria. Your cat definitely wouldn't want to either. Your cat's whiskers are rich in nerve endings which make them ultra-sensitive. They can detect even the slightest change in the direction of a breeze. Having its whiskers brush against the rim of a too small water bowl can make drinking from the water bowl very uncomfortable. Did you know that different types of water bowl material will affect the taste of water in it differently? Apparently, cats are able to pick up the minute differences in the taste of water, which changes with the material of the water bowl. The way the water tastes matters a lot to most cats. In this regard, I kind of relate. Have you not noticed how different Milo in a packet tastes so much different from Milo in a can?
No?
Just me? Moreover, if you're refilling your cat's water bowl with tap water, some cats might not like the taste and smell of it because tap water in Singapore, and most other countries really, is treated with fluoride. Look around your home. Are your cat's water bowls placed in conveniently out-of-the-way spots such as against the wall or in corners? Is your cat avoiding drinking from those and instead drinking from your leaking faucet? Cats are very cautious and like to be aware of their surroundings. They don't like leaving their backs unprotected and exposed to any potential danger. So if your cat avoids drinking from water bowls close to the wall or in corners, it's very likely because it has no way of keeping an eye on the room as it drinks, and this makes your cat feel vulnerable. Felines generally prefer drinking water that is similar to water that can be found in the wilderness, water that is fresh and cool. To cats, cold water is an indication of water that is safe and clean. The same way that we are very particular about some things, like the food that we eat or the way we want things to be done, cats are also nitpicky about some things like their water bowls. It all just boils down to understanding our cat's likes and dislikes. In the wild, cats prey on mice which are made of around 70% water. It has long since been imbued in their genes to derive their daily water intake by feeding on their prey. As a result, they don't see the need to look for other sources of hydration. Even so, cats don't really need that much water. However, it's still important to make sure that they are drinking enough water to stay hydrated, especially in this heat. You've tried coaxing your kitty. You've tried reciting the whole list of bad things that could happen if it becomes dehydrated. But your cat simply stares at you blankly and licks its paws nonchalantly while you hold out a bowl of water and beg and plead and melt into a puddle of worry. Now then, what do? You've tried coaxing your kitty. You've tried reciting the whole list of bad things that could happen if it becomes dehydrated. But your cat simply stares at you blankly and licks its paws nonchalantly while you hold out a bowl of water and beg and plead and melt into a puddle of worry. Now then, what do? Water isn't the only way to keep your cat hydrated. Earlier we mentioned that cats have the habit of obtaining their liquids from food sources. Dry cat food typically contains only about 10% water, whereas cat food has around 78% water. If your cat has been living on a generally dry cat food diet, why not switch it up a little and incorporate some wet foods into its meals? Many cat owners tend to place water bowls against the wall so that they're not in the way. But cats don't like to be boxed into a corner, and they don't like leaving their backs exposed to vulnerability for fear of being sneaked up upon. Instead, leave their water bowls in areas where they are able to take in their surroundings with a quick glance whenever they want. It would also be good to place water bowls far from their food bowls. Felines like to keep their water and food separate and in several different spots in your home. Trick your cat into drinking more water by crushing up some catnip and adding it to its water dish. Alternatively, you could scoop some low-sodium tuna or chicken broth into your cat's water. Your cat might be avoiding its water dish because bending over it with its neck exposed makes it feel vulnerable. If that's the case, try getting an elevated water dish. The material of the water bowl matters too. Depending on the kind of material the water dish is made from, cats could detect subtle differences in the taste of water. Get water bowls of different materials and see which one your cat likes. Cats have very sensitive whiskers, and they don't like it when they're drinking from a water dish, and their whiskers continually brush against the sides of the bowl. Swap out a deep water bowl for a shallow one, and see if your cat is lapping up water much more frequently. But make sure that you're consistent with the amount of water you put in the bowl. Cats love running water. Instinctively, cats become suspicious of still water because they associate it with contaminated water. And while cats have excellent night vision, their ability to see still water is pretty poor. Water in a water bowl is practically invisible to them. Check out cat water fountains from Hagen Catit, which have an elevated design and different water flow settings. Cats are probably one of the cleanest mammals, and if the water in their water dish isn't fresh or clean, they most likely won't drink from it. Clean your cat's water dish and change out the water regularly so that it's free from bacteria and other contaminants. Perhaps your cat doesn't like the taste of tap water? Fill their water dish with bottled water instead. You've seen the videos of cats playing with ice cubes circulating online. It's nothing short of adorable. Many cats are fascinated by the look of ice cubes bobbing around in water. Adding a couple of ice cubes to your cat's water bowl should encourage it to drink more water and keeps it entertained at the same time. Cats tend to want to lap on some water after they've eaten. By breaking up your cat's usual meals into several smaller ones interspersed throughout the day, you're encouraging it to drink water more frequently. We hope these tips have been useful for you in getting your cat to drink more water. Ensuring that your cat is drinking enough water and does not get dehydrated is so important for your cat's health and happiness. Dehydration could very quickly lead to insidious diseases if left untreated, so it would be great to also know the signs to look out for. Very thin cats, older cats, and cats with chronic illnesses may normally have sunken eyes. However, if you're suddenly noticing that the eyes of your otherwise healthy cat are sunken into its sockets and appear dull instead of looking like its usual shiny twin orbs, it's highly likely that your cat is dehydrated. This is probably one of the most reliable ways to tell if your cat is dehydrated. Check the elasticity of your cat's skin by gently pulling up some skin at the scruff of its neck. You'll find that your cat's skin snaps back into place quite slowly if it is dehydrated. A well-hydrated cat has gums that are pink and moist. If they are dry and sticky to the touch, it's a sure sign of dehydration. Thick, ropus saliva is another indication of dehydration. Has your fur kid been visiting the cat toilet less frequently than usual? Examine its litter. Dehydrated cats are usually constipated. If you see only several small, hard pieces of stool, it's a sign that your cat lacks sufficient fluids in its body. Cats typically sleep a large percentage of the day, so it might take a while for you to notice when their lethargy is an indication of something medically wrong. Does your playful cat no longer react to you holding out its favorite toy? Does it sleep a great deal more than usual? If you're answering yes to these questions, there's a possibility that your cat is dehydrated, or it could be a sign of some other illness. Another symptom of dehydration in your cat is the loss of appetite. Dehydration reduces blood flow to your cat's digestive tract, which inadvertently leads to a decrease in appetite. Suddenly, your cat is rejecting all its favorite foods like that delicious CIO grilled tuna treat that it normally goes crazy for. Dehydration causes blood to thicken, which causes your cat's heart to work harder to pump blood to the rest of its body. This raises its heart rate. The normal heart rate for cats is between 160 and 240 beats per minute. If your cat's heart rate is higher than that range, it is like that it has some hydration issues. Try pressing your finger to your cat's gum. It should turn white, and then releasing it. As you release your finger, count the number of seconds it takes for your cat's gums to return to its normal color. If it takes longer than 2 seconds for your cat's gum to turn back to pink, it is an indication that your fur kid is dehydrated. Also, If your cat's gums are already very pale before you press on them, it could be a sign that it is severely dehydrated. Best to take it to the vet. Dogs pant as a way of cooling down when they're overheated. But cats? That's usually an anomaly, especially when they have only been spending the better part of their day lounging around the house. When this happens, it is likely a sign of discomfort from dehydration. We mentioned earlier that dehydration could very quickly lead to greater illnesses if left untreated. The quicker you recognize the signs of dehydration, the easier it would be to treat your cat. The best way to get your cat well hydrated again is to observe its behavior and pinpoint the exact cause of dehydration. However, if you think the cause of dehydration could be attributed to a more serious issue, it's best to take your cat to the vet immediately.